Hello there, everyone. I recently just got my closed beta key for Valorant, and I've been seeing many people with one issue, and that is their aim. Aim is one of the most critical parts of a first-person shooter, and this is especially the case in Valorant. If you've played CSGO before, then this transition to Valorant aiming will be easier for you. Now, even if you haven't played CSGO, don't worry. By the end of this tutorial, you will know how to practice, train, and improve your aim all for free without any softwares like Kovacs or Aim Hero, and it'll all be in Valorant. So let's get right into it. To start it off, you need to find a sensitivity and DPI that works for you. This is probably the trickiest process of aim training, as it's all up to you. If you don't know what a DPI is, it's the number of dots your mouse travels per inch it moves in real life. In other words, it's basically how far your cursor moves on your screen per inch you move your mouse. To switch your DPI, most mouse buttons come with a button in the middle of the left and right click buttons that will increment your DPI to set values that it has already preset in its software. Some mice also have downloadable software you can put on your computer. I would recommend 800 or 400 DPI, depending if you like low sensitivity, you'd go 400. Higher sensitivity, you'd go 800. I'm an 800 player myself, as those two are very standard values and sensitivities for pro esport gamers. Now we'll look at how to find the sensitivity that is best for you. So in Valorant, there's no one best sensitivity for everyone. Depending on how high or how low you like your sensitivity, it will depend on what yours is. So after you've chosen your DPI for your mouse, either 400 or 800 or somewhere in between, that is usually a good spot to be at, you'll want to come over to the aim training range. Now, your goal is to get your sensitivity perfect here. So what you're trying to do is you're doing this skills test and you're trying to get at least 25 bots killed. Now, if you can't get 25 bots, then you want to see what's going wrong. You're going to want to see if you are overcompensating on your aim. So let's say you're going to aim for a bot and then you go way past it. Then that means your sensitivity is too high. But if you're going too close to it and you're not getting far enough, that means your sensitivity is too low. Now, I recommend at first using these larger boxes on the outside. They increase it by 0.1. So if my sensitivity was too low, I could go to 0.7 and have a higher sensitivity. Or if I found that too high, I could go back down to 0.6. If that was still too high, I could go even lower. And then once you're here, you can start fine-tuning it with the smaller ones, which increase it by 0.01. So this is actually a really helpful mechanic to have in the game, as it allows you to practice your aim for free without a software like Kovacs or Aim Hero or any of those games that you could get on Steam. So this is actually a very useful thing. I recommend that everyone uses this to find their sensitivity, and just keep working at it until you can get at least 25. So now that you've found the proper sensitivity, you'll want to make your way on to learning how to control and use the recoil of your gun to your advantage. I'll send it over to myself at the shooting range. Alright, let's work on bloom and recoil now. We can separate all of the guns in Valorant into four main categories. You've got pistols, you've got shotguns, you've got semi-automatic weapons, and then fully automatic weapons. Now, let's just start with the easiest category of shotguns. A shotgun is probably the easiest weapon to use in the game, as it's a close range item where it does all of its damage at close range, but the bullets go exactly where you want them to go. So they will stay within the circle of this range. It's not that hard to control. That goes for the judge and all the other shotguns. Now let's move on to the pistols category. Pistols are also fairly simple to use, but you'll want to tap fire with these. Now, if you spray with a pistol, you can see that its bullets start to go in random spots. That's called bloom for you. This especially goes for the sheriff, guns like this start to get a much bigger plume very quickly. So ideally, you'll be tap firing with these. Now, if you don't know what tap firing is, it's basically shooting, then waiting until the crosshair comes very close to or completely closed until you shoot again. This will give you the best chance of hitting your target. Next, we're moving on to the fully automatic rifles. Now, these weapons, like the Vandal, the Phantom, Ares, Odin, they all have similar spray patterns. Now, they all have different sizes where they spray in, but it's all very similar. So let's start with the Vandal, one of the more commonly used guns in the game. Now, I'm just holding down left click. I'm just letting it do the spray. So what all these guns are going to do is they're going to start at your crosshair. And as you spray with them, they're going to go up above the top crosshair and then move from the right to the left in a motion like this. Now, the way you want to control this bloom is by crouching to make it more manageable, and then you're just gonna want to drag your mouse down as you shoot so that your bullets stay within the circle. This will give you the largest chance of hitting your target and will also make it much easier knowing the bloom path of the Vandal. Finally, we'll do semi-automatic weapons. Semi-automatic weapons are must tap fires. As you can see with the Guardian here, if you stop tap firing, the bullets are going to start going very random. They'll all go above the crosshair, so you can at least try and go for chances like that. But it's much harder to hit shots fully automatic with a semi-automatic weapon. See, now if I place the target 50 meters away, and I just fully spray, and I try and hit the middle, most of my shots aren't even going to come close. Now, if I fully spray, we got 2 in the center bullseye. Now, if I fully spray with the Vandal, I can control it easier. And while most of these still aren't hitting, we got a lot more in the center circle there, and a lot more level. So, that's the difference between semi-automatic weapons and automatic weapons. So now that you know how to find your perfect sensitivity, your perfect DPI, and how to control all of the gun's recoils in the game, all you have to do now is practice this. So I recommend going into the training room every morning, every time you get onto Valorant. It doesn't have to be in the morning, but try and practice your aim for at least 20 minutes right when you get on, so that you're not going into your first game with bad aim and then you're letting your teammates down. You want to warm up for 20 minutes every day, and eventually that'll keep getting your aim better and better until you will be very, very good at aiming. Now, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll be making lots more content on Valorant in the future, so if you did enjoy it, please make sure to subscribe and like, and I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one.